Hello everybody, John here, and today onto the garage I'm doing a bit of a mod on table location in our IH630 RL. This might be of interest to others who have got similar vans. A lot of panel van conversions have very similar arrangements. When you put the table into the hole in the floor, let's grab hold of the post. And drop the table in. We've got a great sized table. Typically there's only me and Joe in the van, so we don't really need it to be for too many people, but that's a great sized table. However, it's got a couple of small issues. It's quite close to here, and because of the TV here, it's even closer, so it's very hard to get past once it's in position. And obviously if you're serving up dinner or putting stuff on the sink, you've got to be in and out to do it. So you can just about, and I do mean just about, sneak through there and along. And the result is you've got decent position here for eating, and same on the other side. If I come round this side, I'm actually too far away for comfortable eating from this end. And to be honest, because the TV set's there, and occasionally we do like to have a film with our dinner, it's nice to use this chair and this chair rather than that one, because you can't really use it. So yeah, the table's too far away. Also, if you turn it this way, which arguably gives a better dining for two opposite, in that the table reaches out across you a little bit further. It's even further away from here and makes even less sense here. But to get in, you can kind of do this diagonal thing and creep in. But yeah, it just feels like the table's in the wrong place and doesn't maneuver into the places we would like it to. So I considered all sorts of options for this, and one of the most obvious is to make a freestanding table. But I do like the fact that with a fixed table like this, if you knock it, it doesn't knock everything over. You know, it is properly firm fixed table. Considered putting in a lagoon table with a cranked leg mounted onto the cupboards, but because of the way the beds move, that wouldn't be the easiest of options, and the leg itself would get in the way, so you'd be constantly removing it, refitting it. Whereas that goes away real nice. It's not really an option to move the hole in the floor without filling in the hole that's in the floor of the van and then repairing the flooring, and then your carpets don't work properly. So there's a few issues there. So what I'm going to go for is actually moving the base of the table, the bit that it mounts onto, right over to one end, which with the table in its longer format will push the table much further back and allow it to swing more asymmetrically. And there's going to be those of you who are worried that, oh, we put it over there, John, it's going to be rocking around and you'll bend the post. This table has the same sort of construction as one we had in our A-class motorhome, which was much longer, and we had no issues. So that's what we're going to try out today. Plus it costs nothing and is reversible, other than a couple of holes that will be left in this tabletop. This mount isn't bonded into place or anything, it's literally just held in with chunky self-tapping screws. When you've got them all out, that's the effect. Now, these tabletops are generally made of very low density wood, so Self-tappers aren't the very best thing to have in them, but it's what we've got. But I think I'm going to double up and use some automotive tapes on here as well to help secure this, as well as the self-tappers. And because I've already got a couple of holes, I'm going to use them as a starting point for the whole arrangement. First thing I'm going to do is draw a circle round with a pencil. Show me where it's going to land. And this surface here and these webs are about 3mm lower than the edge, the mating surface here, giving me space to put some foam tapes to mount this, and they'll actually be sufficiently strong to hold the whole thing on its own, but I shall be adding the self-tappers back in. I was thinking of filling these holes and putting some white paint on them, but in retrospect what I think I might do is put some screws back in the holes and paint the heads. That way it's an easier thing to reverse should I ever wish to. So got these screws with nice smooth heads, and I've cut them down. They're very slightly smaller than the original, so they'll still go in the holes but not damage the thread, if you can call it that, on a self-tapper. Just gonna get rid of any raised material with the edge of my penknife. And then we'll pop these into the holes that are not going to be used. That's better. Next, I'm just going to get rid of this witness mark where the table was originally. And a little bit of alcohol spray. Now I'm just going to clean, again with the alcohol, just where I might have some self-adhesive material, just to make sure it's got the best adhesion possible. And I've got this 2mm thick white foam double-sided tape, and if I take this little bit and stick it on that rib, it's still below that surface. If I put it on here, yeah, it's not got any pressure, so it could do with being a bit thicker. So we might have to have a 2-layer approach to this. It does squash down quite nicely, so there's not going to be any issues with it holding off. Okay, so now what we'll do, clean this up and stick some on. Now this stuff is in no way going to be holding this on. What it's there for is if ever the screws were to come slightly loose, I mean fractionally, then instead of that transferring into a rocking action which tugs all the screws out, this will prevent it from moving and just keep the whole thing a lot more secure. Now with this technique, what's very important is I've got two existing holes. They've got to be used straight away and got right, because I won't be able to move it. Other than that, there are no issues really. Touching down on the outside edge so I know nothing's sticking. Pop two of the screws in, use them as location dowels, and then drop the whole thing down, give it a push, and straight away it's got it. I'm just going to pinch these up so they give a bit of location. Not that it's going to twitch now. That 3M tape is very effective. I would say that you could probably use the table without the screws. I wouldn't advise it, but it is good. There we go. So my next challenge is just to put the pilot holes in here and then screw these screws in. So I'm popping 3mm pilot holes in, center of the hole position. And remember, it's a tabletop. Whatever you do, don't drill through. Just want to take about 5mm. The surface material is actually quite hard and brittle, so you definitely want to get right through that. And then you're just making some space for the screw to start doing its thing without bursting the wood. Won't make a jot of difference which one I do first really, but it's just a good habit. Tighten things up evenly across diameters. No, I don't think mine is a Fiamma leg. There's another brand and it eludes me at the moment. Fiamma don't tend to have the serrated tube like I've got. It tends to be a smooth one, but I think this would work on most tables of this ilk, which is the majority of them. Okay, so let's see what difference this has made. Was there, he says, guesstimating. Now, there. And genuinely, that's solid. I think you can see it's made a huge difference with the distance from the chair to the table. If I come around this side now, I'm sitting at the table rather than away from it. But we've got a lot more space up there. Plus, because the distance from the pivot to this edge is so short, look, now we can get through really easily, lay a table, swing it into position however we want, or even bring it into the kitchen area so you can use it for setting up and serving. Get in and then put it for dining. Really pleased with that. Give you the view from over this side. So it's now pushed that considerably away from the TV and everything else. If I bring you over here, put it level with the rear cushion, level with that cushion. So it looks like it's now where it's always supposed to have been. Yeah, very pleased indeed. Very pleased. Let's see how it looks back in the washroom. And before I even put it into the bracket, I tell you, so much easier to handle with the hole at the top. Obviously you could put it at the bottom, won't make any odds. Straight into position where it lived before. Just the 4 studs showing that something's changed, which I could paint white to make less obvious, but I don't know if I'm fussed because that looks fine. Just as a side note, we keep our table leg above the door. Just find that is a more convenient location than behind the driver's seat or in the bathroom, or where it is traditionally mounted is in this cupboard using those holes down there. So there you are, another quick and easy mod on our IH630RL Ducato-based panel van. Hope you're enjoying these. Please subscribe to the channel. It costs you nothing, but it helps me out if you can, and that adds us as a favourite so that you can come back and see all the videos as they pop up. See you soon, guys. If you're enjoying our channel, then don't forget to subscribe and click the little bell icon so you get notifications of new videos. And please give us a thumbs up or thumbs down, and you can share the videos. And below the video is always the area where you can comment and get involved with the chat.